Hi everyone, and welcome to the second video of our September strength series. Earlier in the week we focused on two strength exercises, which were the split squat with the rear foot elevated, which is to focus on your quads and your hip strength, and we also did a side plank to work on that core strength, that lateral stability. Okay, so today we're going to focus on two new exercises. Again, we're going to do a single leg exercise, and then we're going to do an upper body push exercise. And I'm trying to choose exercises that don't require too much added resistance, too much added weight to make them harder, so that we can make them harder at home with limited access to weights. Okay, so the first exercise we're going to do is a single leg deadlift. The second exercise we're going to do is a push-up. So let's just do two quick mobility exercises to prepare for both those movement patterns. The first thing I want you to do is, with your feet about shoulder width apart and parallel, your knees soft, your core activated, and your hands on your chest, we're just going to push the hips, push your butt behind you, keeping that soft bend in the knees. Only go as far as you can, keeping a flat back and your core holding pressure, and then come up. Okay, let's do this 8 times. So we're going to do 7 more. So push the hips back and up. So this is a hip hinge. You're hinging at the hips, and this is to kind of just prepare and warm up the hamstrings and the glutes. Okay, so let's keep going. 4, knees soft and push. 5, keep the core activated. 6, up, knees soft and push. 7, okay, if you've got limited mobility, you can bend your knees a little bit more and push. That's going to give you a bit more range of motion. And 8, good. Okay, just bouncing on the spot, shaking it off. So again, we're going to do 2 exercises and 3 rounds. Let's just do one more exercise to prepare the upper body for the push-ups. So I want you to get onto your hands and knees, hands under your shoulders, knees under your hips, both shoulder width apart. With the core activated, from here I'm going to lift my knees and then lift my hips in the air into a down dog, and then all the way back down to the floor. Okay, let's do 6 repetitions. Up, push your chest towards your feet, and then all the way back down to the floor. Activate the core, lift the knees, lift the hips. That's 3 for me. I'm going to do 3 more. Core, knees, hips, and down. Okay, I'm going to do 2 more. And down, and then my last one. Okay, take time to do that extra one if you need to. Otherwise, up and just bouncing. Let's get the blood flowing a tiny bit before we get into our first exercise. Okay, so remember, the purpose of this series is to introduce some important strength exercises and give you the options to make them harder as you get stronger. And like I said, they're all exercises that don't require heavy weights. Obviously, you can add heavy weights if you're feeling strong, if you've been practicing them, but you can do a lot with limited materials. So I'm going to use one small hand weight today. And now I'm going to give you the variations. So let's get ready for the first exercise. I'm just going to show you the 3 variations you can do. So I've got my feet together. That's always a starting position for all of them. And my knees are soft. My core is activated. And I'm holding the weight or the object, whatever you want, in between both hands in front of me. I'm going to take a small step back, very small step back with my right foot. So my kind of toes of my right foot are in line with the heels of my left foot. There's a small gap between my feet as well, so they're not kind of touching. Both my knees are soft. And then from here, I just push my butt behind me like we did earlier. And in this stance, you're going to be working the hamstring on the left leg, the furthest forward leg. So you come down here and up. Okay, and we do 8 repetitions, and then we'd switch feet. A slightly harder version than that is you start with your feet together, but instead of keeping the foot on the floor behind you, you'd actually send the right leg behind you, a slight bend in the left knee, and only go as far as you can, keeping a flat back and working the hamstring, your core activated, and then you're going to come back, feet together. So let's just keep it at those 2 variations for now. Slightly easier one is keeping the foot on the floor with your heel lifted behind you. Slightly harder one is sending the leg behind you. Okay, so feet together, tiny gap between your feet, knees soft, and then take that little step back. Okay, I'm going to go for the full version. Slight bend in the left knee and send that right leg behind you. The weights are going to stay very close to your shin. Okay, once you're at the bottom, you can pause. Oh, there we go. That's my balance. That's a stability exercise. Let's do 7 more. Okay, so right leg behind you. Keep your hands close to your left shin. And up. 2. Okay, knees soft. 3. And you should feel this in the hamstring of your left leg. A very slight bend in the knee. And remember, only go as far as you can comfortably go, keeping that slight bend in the knee. Okay, that's 4 for me. 5, 6, 7. I'm going to do 1 more. Keep the hips square. 8. Okay, feet together. Okay, shift the weight into the right leg. Slight bend in the right knee. And send that left leg behind you. 1. Okay, slowly on the way down. It's going to help you balance. 2. I like to do it barefoot so I can grip the floor a bit better. 3. Remember to keep working the core and keep the weight close to your shin. 4. You don't want it to drift too far forward like that. Okay. 5. 6. 7. 8. Okay, take your time finishing. Okay, if you finished early, you can bounce on the spot. So let me just show you the second exercise. We did this in the August challenge a few times. It's a negative push-up. So with a negative push-up, you're focusing more on the lowering part, going slowly, and then coming up with a slightly easier variation. So let me show you a few variations. So if you're comfortable with a full push-up, okay, you've got your hands shoulder width apart, directly underneath your shoulders. Okay, activate the core, step the feet back, and this will be the full version. 1, 2, 3, pause, and push. Okay, so that's a full push-up. Make sure your shoulders are pulled away from your ears. Make sure your elbows go back at a 45-degree angle. A slightly easier version of that one would be to go down in the full push-up. 1, 2, 3, but then you're going to go all the way to resting on the floor. And when you come up, you're going to come up on your knees. Okay, lift the knees and go again. So no knees on the way down, knees on the way up. And then the last variation, this one's probably the best one if you're unsure of your push-up, is to stay on your knees the whole time. So hands underneath your shoulders, shoulders down, core activated, keeping it on the knees. 1, 2, 3, pause, and push. Okay, normal speed on the way up. Okay, so I just want to do 6 push-ups, okay? I feel like 6 push-ups with good form, going for that harder variation where you feel like you really are getting the most out of each rep, is better than doing 10 or 12 push-ups with bad form where you lose form towards the end. Okay, so 6 reps. If 6 reps was easy, go for the harder variation. Okay, I'm going to do this first one. I'm going to go down without my knees and I'm going to come up on my knees. Okay, so get into that plank position to start with, on or off your knees. Okay, shoulders down, elbows back, core activated. 1, 2, 3, up on the knees. Okay, 5 more. 1, 2, 3, up on the knees. 1, 2, 3, up on the knees. 3 more. 1, 2, 3, up. Last 2. 1, 2, 3. Okay, and 1 more rep for me. 1, 2, 3. Awesome. Okay, up and bouncing. So remember, going slowly means that you have more time under tension. Okay, more time under tension means you're going to get more work in the muscles and build more strength. So whenever you want to make an exercise harder and you haven't got weights available, just going slower is a great way of doing it. Okay, so let's do 2 more rounds. I'll give yourself a little breather. Where did I put my weight? Oh, it's over here. So what I will say for this one, I'm going to give you 1 harder variation if you felt very comfortable with the single leg version that I was doing. What you could do, with your feet together, you send your leg behind you, and then instead of just bringing your feet together and coming up, you're going to go from here, and you're actually going to bring the weight to your chest and press it up to the ceiling and bring your knee up. So let me show you that again. Then you go straight to the next one, behind you like before, but then instead of stopping here, we continue with the knee up and we push our arms up to the ceiling. So that's just going to make the exercise last a bit longer and it's going to add a stability element. Okay, I'm going to go for that version. If not, just continue here and feet together. All right, so feet together, knees soft, okay, core activated and right leg back. Slowly keep the weight close to your shin and then feet together or follow through, knee up, 1 and straight to the next rep. We're going for 8 reps. 2, so my left leg's working really hard, my left hamstring, to keep my body stable as I go through this big movement. 3, really good for single leg strength and stability. Important for avoiding injury. Woo. 5, okay, I can really feel this in my hamstrings by going slowly, keeping that slight bend in the knee. 6, I'm going to do 2 more. 7, 8. Okay, once you've finished, feet together, shift the weight into your right leg, slight bend in the knee, keeping your hips square, keeping your back flat slowly, and then optional high knee and shoulder press. 1. Straight to the next rep without touching the floor. 2. Okay, whichever version you're going for, slowly on the way down. 3, and keep the weight always about an inch away from your shin. Never in front of your toes. 4. If I drop the weight, it should fall on my toes or on the middle of my foot. 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, I went a little bit faster though, but remember to go at your own pace. Go slowly. If I move on too fast, just pause it. Okay, get those 8 reps on each leg. Okay, while you're waiting, active recovery, bouncing on the spot. Okay, I'm going to do my push-ups. Okay, so this time I'm going to go for the variation with my knees on the floor the whole time. Okay, so instead of going down off my knees, resting on the floor, pushing back up on my knees, I'm going to keep my knees on the floor. And even though I have a lot of experience with exercise, I feel like I have a good level of strength, I practice these exercises frequently, I sometimes prefer to go for the easiest option because it allows me to really focus on form, going slowly, making corrections, and get the most out of it. And because it is an easier version for me, I just make sure I stay very strict, going slowly, and that's going to make it harder. Okay, so don't feel that you have to do that full version of a push-up. I can do a full push-up, but I prefer to do it on my knees just because I find it easier to focus on form, which is much more important. Okay, so hands under your shoulder, hands forward, core activated, 6 reps, 3 seconds down, 1, 2, 3, pause and push. 3 seconds down, 2, 3, pause and push. Okay, 4 more. Push. Okay, I'm going to stop talking so much because it's tiring. 4, 2 more. 5, 6. Okay, take your time finishing that up, bouncing on the spot, and we're going to do this last round. Okay, so hopefully you've kind of seen that by just focusing on 2 exercises and just focusing on one area of fitness, in this case, in this series, is strength, you feel like you can concentrate a bit more on the movement, on the form, and go for those harder variations. Like we did in the challenge, those circuits mixed with cardio, really good for moving, for fitness, combating sedentary negative effects. But if we want to be more specific, sometimes it's good to focus on one area and less exercises. Okay, that's how we're able to keep these workouts nice and short, by doing 2 exercises. Okay. Okay, so last round. Okay, go with the variation that feel you can get the most out of. In other words, you can go slowly, the core is activated, the back is flat, slight bend in the leg on the floor, and you actually feel that your hamstrings are working. Okay, if any of these exercises you feel like you're not activating the right muscles, just comment on the video or send me a message and we can chat a little bit more about technique. Okay, so feet together, knees soft, core activated, and right leg behind me. Hands stay close to my shin, only as far as I can go with a flat back. And I'm going to go for that variation again. Knees up, hands up, 1. Okay, in your own time. Slowly on the way down. 2. 3. 4. 5. 6. Okay, once you feel more comfortable, you can go a little bit faster through these movements as you're confident with the form. 8. Okay, finish that, feet together, knees soft, shift the weight to the right leg, left leg goes back. 1, try and keep your chest sticking out, shoulders back, core activated. 2, okay, slowly on the way down. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, slowly. 8, awesome, really good. Okay, 3 sets of single leg exercises for the hamstring. Hopefully you felt that in the right areas. Okay, I'm going to go for the last push-ups. Okay, again, I'm going to go on my knees. So starting on hands and knees, activate the core, hands forward, lower the hips. So you're in a kind of kneeling plank position. Shoulders down, elbows behind you at a 45-degree angle. 2, 3, push. Okay, 5 more. 1, 2, 3, push. 1, 2, 3, push. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2 more. 1, 2, 3, 5, and my last one. 1, 2, 3, 6. Okay, take your time finishing. Stand up, bouncing on the spot. Okay, shake off the arms. Okay, well done today. Okay, so 2 again. During this series of September, these 8 workouts, I'm going to only go over and repeat the exercises that I feel are the best, call them bang for your buck exercises that you can do at home or anywhere with limited access to machines, to free weights. Okay, you can build lots of strength without all of that. You just got to be consistent, and you have to focus on form and finding those harder variations. Okay, so well done today. That was the last workout of this week. I'll be back on Monday or Tuesday. Sorry, I can't be more specific with the days, for our 3rd workout and our first workout of 2 for next week. Okay, so have a great weekend. Repeat these exercises whenever you want. Okay, manage the intensity. Let me know if you have any questions, and I'll see you next week.